Welcome once again, my friends, and thank you for stopping by to listen to an old storyteller. Today we have a story from Greece, and the title of this story is The Child Who Was Poor and Good. Once upon a time there was a poor woman who had 4 girl children. To raise them, the unhappy creature went out to work. A harder work you could not have wished to find, but even so, her daily wage all went on food. She was barely able to earn enough to purchase their daily bread. She had to let them go about unclad and unshod, for there was not a mite left over to buy them clothes. If ever some good Christian dame were to give her some old worn garment, she would make it over for the eldest, and then would cut it down to fit the second and the third. For the fourth and littlest girl nothing remained. Winter and summer she went about in only a ragged little shirt, barefoot and bare-chested. One year the winter was severe with rain, cold, and snow. The unhappy fourth child shivered and could not get warm. At last she said to her mother, "Mother, I must leave this place and go find another mother who can make me a little garment now and then. I shall die if I stay here longer. I cannot go on with only this little shirt to wear." So the child left her home and walked and walked. On the road she found a little bird under a tree. The bird was young and featherless, and it had fallen from the nest. Little squawks came from its beak, for it had not the strength to fly back up the tree and would die down on the ground. The child was sorry for it. She took it in her little hands and warmed it between her palms. She looked about her, and when she saw a man coming along the road, she asked him to put the bird back in the nest. And so it was she who saved it. The child again went along her way and passed amid some branches. She saw a spider spinning its web up and down, back and forth, the web growing and growing the while. You might have thought there was some great haste about it. The child halted and said, "I will not break the web, but go round the other way, so as not to grieve the spider." The spider said, "Thank you, my good child. What would you have me do for you in return for your kindness to me?" "Where are you going, all unclad and barefoot?" "I'm going to find some cloth and take it to my mother to make me a little garment, for I'm cold." "Go then," said the spider to the child, "and on your return come this way again and tell me what I can give you in my fashion." So the child went on, and farther away she came across a bramble. As she tried to go past it, her little shirt caught on its thorns and was torn to shreds, so that she was mother naked. The poor child fell to crying. It would have broken your heart to see and hear her. Her sobs were heard by a lamb that was grazing in the meadow a little way off. The lamb said to the child, "What ails you, child? Why do you weep? Have you had a whipping?" "Oh," wailed the child, "I was going to find a little garment to keep me warm, and I was going past the bramble, and it tore my little shirt to shreds and left me mother naked." So the lamb asked the bramble, "Wherefore did you do this harm? What is to become of the child now?" "Give her some of your wool, and I will card it. Let her give it to her mother to make her something to wear, for wool will keep her warm," said the bramble. The lamb began to walk all around and around the bramble. The wool came off on the thorns, and the child plucked it off already carded. When she had gathered a fair quantity, she said, "Thank you, little lamb. Now I will run back to my mother, so she can set about spinning the yarn, weaving it, cutting the cloth, and sewing it, so that I can wear it when I go to communion at Christmas." She was running on her way, full of joy, when it crossed her mind that her mother would not have time, going out to her work every day as she did, to do all this by Christmas, and she at once grew sad. When she reached the foot of the tree where the bird's nest was, what do you think? There before her was the bird's mother. "You dear child," said the bird's mother, "how can I thank you? How can I repay your goodness in saving my little one's life?" "What is that you have in your arms?" The child told her that it was wool the lamb had given her, and that she was hurrying to take it back to her mother to spin, weave, cut, and sew to make her a little garment to wear at Christmas when she would go to communion. "Let me spin it for you," said the bird. She took it in her beak and flew up very high so as to pull it into a long thread, and by the time she flew down again, if you could only have seen! She had spun the thread and rolled it into a ball. The child took it and went on her way. When she got to the spider's web, the spider was waiting for her. "Well, how do you fare? Did you find anything at all?" When the spider saw the balls of thread in the child's arms, it took the thread and began to weave it, quick as lightning and as fine as any weaver. The child took the cloth to her mother, who cut it into a little dress, sewed it, put it on the child, and made her pretty. She went to the church, and all the folks kissed and hugged her for being so fine and warmly clad.
Thank you once again for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this story, please press that like button. Also, please help an old storyteller out by subscribing to my channel. The next story will be posted in a few days, so until then, may your story continue to be a good one.